Hello again, everyone. It's me, Mr. Vass. Right, it's time for maths today. So we're going to be building on some of our learning from the last couple of days where we've been thinking all about measures and lengths. So can you start, please, with this quick recap of things we've already learned? So a quick starter for you here. Pause the video and have a go at this on whiteboards or scrap paper, anything you've got to hand, and see what you can do with these. Okay, hopefully you've had a go at that then. So those really crucial conversions that we all need to know. So 1 centimetre is equal to 10 millimetres. 1 metre is equal to 100 centimetres. Remember that part of the word cent means 100, like in century, which is in our spelling list this week. Going to need to do a little bit of adding. So I wonder how you did this one on number 2. Hopefully you maybe used a written method, or you might also have done a little bit of mental calculation. Maybe you noticed that 7 and 3 go together, for example, and helped yourself out that way. Hopefully, eventually you got the answer here of 85. A couple of ways you could have done that. And 128 centimetres is equal to 1 metre and what else? Well, if we know that 100 centimetres is equal to 1 metre, we're left with the 28 centimetres on its own. Okay, so today then we're going to be adding lengths, which is why we've been thinking a little bit here about lengths and also a little bit about adding. So we're going to be looking at questions like this. Tommy uses toy bricks to make a tower. What is the height of Tommy's tower? Now, just by looking at this picture, you might be a little bit intimidated because there's an awful lot of numbers on the page. But what we really need to do here is identify what are the important measures. Because there's, what's that, 6 numbers on the page. We've got to identify what are the important ones for us here. So it's talking about the height of the tower. So which 2 lengths refer to the height? Well, height is about how tall something is or high something is. So which are the ones going up? Well, it's 18 and 53, isn't it? So how are we going to find out the total height? Well, we're going to need to add these 2 together. So a couple of ways you could do this, but my recommendation would definitely be to use a little bit of pen and paper, use that written calculation method, which we learned earlier in the year, and use some column addition. This is going to be really handy for us today. We've got 53 plus 18. So maybe you can lay that out on your bit of paper and have a go at that now. What is 53 plus 18? Well, 3 plus 8, that's 11. So we write that like that. Our 110 carried over and our 1, 1. And then in our tens column, we've got 5 plus 1 plus 1, that's 7. So it's 71 centimetres. So we can say then that the height of this shape altogether is 71 centimetres. So when we're adding heights or widths or lengths or anything like that, we can use this old strategy that we already know and that we are already really confident in. We can use column addition. What about the length of this tower? Now, length in this case is talking about this measurement. It's the width in this case. So this is going to be a little bit more challenging, isn't it? Because there's quite a lot here to do. Now, I would say, again, there's a couple of ways we could do this. Now, we could use our written addition method again, and you could have these 4 things lined up in a column. There are, though, some other ways we could think about it. We could start piecing things together. We could, for example, say, right, well, we know that 12 and 12 is 24. So we could start breaking it down a little bit that way, and then rather than having to deal with 4 numbers, we've got 3 to deal with. You might be looking at 23 plus 17. Now, if you're really on top of your number bonds, you'll look at that 7 and 3 and think straight away, right, well, I know that makes 10. So then I know that 23 plus 17, if I add all of that together, is going to make 40. So then it's a case of adding 40 to 24 and getting the answer of 64. Now, you've seen it shown both ways there. You've seen it done with column addition, getting out your pen and paper and doing it that way, and a mental strategy as well. Now, it's up to you what you use. There isn't a right or wrong method. It's completely down to you. Sometimes you'll be able to look at numbers and you'll spot those little kind of number bonds like 3 and 7 as we saw there, and it might make sense to do it in your head. But I would say don't be afraid to use that written method. That's completely fine, and indeed I would encourage it today. So Please don't feel that oh, it's cheating to use my written method. It's not, it's a good idea. So do use your written method wherever you need it to. Now, some questions you're going to see today will look like this. Now, if you're not careful, you can just look at this and go, right, I know the answer is 30, but why wouldn't that be right? Well, it says 20 plus 10, doesn't it? So why isn't the answer 30? Well, the answer is we don't have the same units here. We're adding up millimeters and centimeters. We've got 20 millimeters and 10 centimeters. So it's not 30. We're not going to put 30. You've got to be really careful and spot the fact that these aren't actually the same unit. By unit, I mean the same unit of measurement. So millimeters aren't the same as centimeters, so we can't just add those two numbers together just yet. So let's convert them then. Let's convert these 20 millimeters into centimeters. This is based on some learning we've done over the last couple of days. So what is 20 millimeters in centimeters? Well, we know that 10 millimeters is 1 centimeter. So 20 millimeters is, have you got it? 2 centimeters, isn't it? So 2 centimeters plus 10 centimeters is what we're actually looking at here. You must be really careful to read the question carefully. It didn't say 20 centimeters, it said 20 millimeters. So we've got here 2 plus 10, that's nice and easy now, that's 12, so 12 centimeters. Let's have a go at another one like that. So this one, we're kind of working a little bit backwards. We've got a missing part in the middle of our calculation. This one says 1 meter and 80 centimeters plus something centimeters equals 2 meters. Well, let's have a really good think then. We know we've got 1 meter on there already. So we know that 80 centimeters plus something is going to need to equal the other meter. Well, how many centimeters are there in a meter? We know already that's 100, don't we? So what do we need to add to 80 to make it into 100? Let's have a really good think. This is what we've got so far. We know we've got our 180 centimeters here. What is it we need to add to that 80 to get it up to the next one? It's 20, isn't it? We need 20 centimeters more to add on. So the answer is 20. So some of the questions you're going to see today are going to be word problems. So they'll look a bit like this. A mat is 45 centimeters long. A rug is 63 centimeters long. How long are they all together? Now that word all together is going to tell us what sort of calculation we need to do. What are we going to need to do here? We're going to need to add these together. We've got 45 plus 63. So here is our mat and our rug all together. One's 45, one's 63. So we're going to need to add those together. And again, this might be one that we use our written addition for. So we're going to write this out in columns. We've got our hundreds, tens, and our ones. We've got 63, we've got 45. We've lined those up really nicely, and now we can calculate. So 5 plus 3, that's 8. 6 plus 4, that's 10. How are we going to write that 10? We're going to carry over our 1 and write our 0 there. And then in our hundreds column, it's nothing plus 1, that's 1. So it's 108. 108 what, out of interest? How long are they all together? 108 what? It's centimeters, isn't it? Because they were both centimeters to start with. So 108 centimeters. Let's actually break that down a little bit more. Now, think about your 108. How many hundreds have we got? We've got 100, and that's the same as 1 meter. So we could say here that this is 1 meter, and what's left over? It's 8 centimeters on its own, isn't it? So we've got there 1 meter and 8 centimeters. Another bit of problem solving for us here. This is getting a little bit tricky now. A paperclip is 30 millimeters long. A crayon is 9 centimeters long. Dexter arranges some paperclips and crayons like this. So he's got a paperclip that's 30 millimeters, sorry. He's got a crayon that's 9 centimeters. He's got 2 more paper clips that are 30 millimeters each, and then another crayon which is 9 centimeters. Now our big question is this: does his pattern fit onto a 30 centimeter long piece of paper? Now there's quite a lot to unpack there, isn't there? There's a lot for us to think about. Now, really, I would just focus in on this kind of second sentence at the bottom here and just kind of try to unpick this a little bit. Does his pattern fit onto a 30 centimetre long piece of paper? Well, what that's asking you really is this pattern 30 centimetres long? Is it more than that? Is it less than that? Let's have a good look. So we know some of the individual parts here. We know that each paperclip is 30 millimetres. We know that each crayon is 9 centimetres. Let's think about our 30 millimetres. What is that in centimetres? Let's do a bit of converting here. What is 30 millimetres in centimetres? Well, we know that 10 millimetres is 1 centimetre. So we know that 20 millimetres is 2 centimetres. So we know that 30 millimetres is 3 centimetres each. So this is going to make life a little bit easier for us. Now we can we can look at like for like. So these are all centimetres now. And let's think particularly about our paper clips. So we've got 3 of them, haven't we? Now we're doing the 3 times table in school at the moment. So 3 lots of 3. What is 3 lots of 3? Well, we could say 3 lots of 3 are 9. So we could think of that as 9 centimetres. We could just add them all up. We could do it that way. That would be okay as well. So we've got 3 plus 9 plus 3 plus 3 plus 9. Or if you'd added up your paper clips separately, we'd have 9 plus 9 plus 9. The answer to that is 27. So 27 centimetres long. Have we got the final answer? I'd say really we need to return to that question. Let's just double check what the question was asking us. Does his pattern fit onto a 30 centimetre long piece of paper? Well, his pattern's 27 centimetres long. So does it fit onto a 30 centimetre long piece of paper? Yes, it does. You can say, yes, it definitely does. Okay, it's time for you to have a go at this work yourself now then. So if you're at home, I've got these slides on the board that you're going to pause each one on and have a go at the questions. If you're in the classroom, because I'm not in the classroom today, if you're in the classroom, you've got the printouts there that you can do on a piece of paper. So whichever one it is, I'll see you at the end of the video for the answers. Okay, fantastic. Hopefully then we're all at the same stage. Hopefully we've got all of our answers now and it's time to go through them. Here are your answers for today. So you can pause the video here and give yourself a tick for each of these ones. I'm really pleased you've been getting on well with this. I'm sure you've been doing well at this at home. We're building on our knowledge all the time, aren't we? So we were looking at measuring lengths, then we were comparing lengths, now we're adding lengths. And tomorrow we're going to be thinking a little bit about, tomorrow we're going to be thinking a little bit about subtracting lengths. So that's the next thing we're going to be thinking about. So have a really good go at this in the classroom, at home, and give it your best go. Okay, thanks everyone. That is our final video for today, actually. A couple of reasons for that. I just want to sort of talk this through in case you're wondering where the third video for today is, those of you at home. We're winding down a little bit now. We've only got 3 days of home learning left, so I'm going to go down to 2 days of 2 videos today. We're going to have literacy and maths. We've noticed that our videos are getting about half the views they normally do this week, so I think mums and dads, not unreasonably, are winding down a little bit themselves, so we'll match that. And in any case, actually, as a school, we did decide to go down to 2 videos a week from the start of this half term. So it's not that you get 1 less video for the next 3 days, you've actually had 1 bonus video from me for the last week and a half. So I thought I'd try to keep that up for you. So you've had 3 videos a day in year 3. In any case, I look forward to seeing you back tomorrow for our next set of videos. Thanks everyone, bye.